Hey everybody, it's Sean and Julie from Chickies Travels doing our Tuesday live. And before we get started with our topic, which is how we earn an income while we're traveling full time, I wanted to say hi to Frank at AOL.com.
He sent us a very encouraging message this week for us to keep up the good work. So we wanted to thank you for that.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to hearing more from him.
And you, please, we love your feedback. So please let us know how you enjoy the lives, and also if there's any topics that you would like us to talk about in the future.
So, you want to get started?
Sure, but before we get started, real quick, just a little background for any new people that we might have about us. We never had an RV before.
No.
And we decided 4 years ago, and this kind of goes into our remote work story. So it kind of happened at the same time. 4 years ago.
Sorry, there's a helicopter flying over.
Yeah, we're on a military base. So that's a big part of our story is our military careers. We'll just let it keep going. And hey, if you're here with us, say hi in the chat. Let us know who you are so we can say hello to you back. All right, so 4 years ago, I had already served 20 years in the military and had a job as a government contractor. And Sean was still in the military. We were both in the Air Force. And he was getting reassigned to a different base. We were here in the Washington, D.C. area, which is where we're at right now. And we were going to be going down to Florida. So he obviously had a position, but I didn't know what I was going to do with my job. Oh, you mean the RV? Hey, you guys. It's Stacy and Phil, I believe. Go Navy. That's okay. We like the Navy too. So we were going down to MacDill. And you want to tell them first about why we got the RV?
Yeah, so we got the RV because we went, the military gives you time to go down and look for a house at the next place you're going to be. And so we went down and we couldn't agree on a place to live. They were either too far away or too close, and one of us didn't like it. So we just happened to hear about this RV park on the base. Wow, it's like all action tonight.
I know.
We just happened to hear about this RV park on the military base, and we went and looked at it and said, well, maybe we should give this a try.
I mean, it was right on the beach at MacDill Air Force Base, which is on Tampa, and it's actually on the Tampa Bay, not on the Gulf Coast, but it was gorgeous. And
so we just bought an RV?
Yeah, and we really didn't make good decisions about buying an RV. We kind of just had stars in our eyes and bought the first big fancy thing that we saw. We have a 44-foot fifth wheel. So because of that decision to buy that RV, we financed it, which was not a great idea either. But so we were going to have to make payments. And so I was going to keep my job. So he had a job already, military. And we were going to just try it out stationary on the base. And then I had been working for the same government contractor for about 6-7 years. And I just went to them because even though I was going into the office every day, I knew that my job is something I could do from anywhere. And so I went to them with a proposal to let me work remotely. And we knew we had 6 months before we moved. So we gave it a trial period where I went in a few days a week and worked from home a few days a week, and then turned it around where I only went to the office 1 or 2 days a week and worked from home the rest. And by the time that 6 months were up, I wasn't going into the office anymore, and they felt comfortable with that. So I was able to take my position with me remotely down to Tampa.
And then I was still on active duty, so of course I had to go into work every day. And we stayed in the RV until I retired. Well, I guess we should say we knew that was going to be my last assignment.
Yeah,
I was going to retire. So we stayed in the RV, and I stayed on active duty, and we made sure that we really liked the RV life before we retired from the military.
Yeah, because before that, when we were living up in the D.C. area, was the last assignment when our boys were still with us. And we have 3 sons, and they're 2 years apart. And so we had large house, like 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a basement, so even though this is a very large RV to some people at 44 feet, to us, it was like some serious downsizing, but we actually were very comfortable in it.
So then fast forward, I retired from the military and Julie was still working for that company. And I got a job that luckily I was able to do remotely. And what I did was I managed a team of people that travel around the United States doing a national health survey. So they don't even have an office. So I was able to easily negotiate some remote work time with that company. So I started doing that. I did that for, well, I'm still doing it technically, I guess.
So let me just pause you for one sec. So say we're going through that whole story a little quickly, but if you think that remote work, like as a corporate employee, so in both of our cases, we had to be logged on to the computer all day, every day. We had occasional business trips that were often far from the RV, so we still had to fly for business trips. We still had to keep room in our closet for business clothes for when we went on those business trips. The benefit, though, of that was that we still had full-time income coming in, and we still had full benefits, with that. So if that's something that you think you're interested in, we do have an article on our blog, which is chickeriestravels.com, that gives more detail about how we were able to, for me, negotiate a office job to a remote job, and how Sean was able to start right off the bat and find a remote job when he was transitioning from one career to another.
And I still had a lot of trips that I had to take.
Mm-hmm.
So that left Julie either coming with me or she would stay back at the RV and work. So that was the first job I had after retirement. And I'm still, actually, I was in that office today since we're up in Washington, D.C., just finishing up some odds and ends. And then I also got another job inspecting healthcare facilities, which is totally remote as well. They, you get a computer and you go where they tell you to inspect healthcare facilities. So I still had a lot of freedom, and that job was only part-time. So yeah. I was able to still work, and we were still able to travel. So
yeah. So the point of that is we have very different backgrounds. He has a medical laboratory background. I was a manpower officer in the Air Force, which is basically a bean counter. And after that, I was a proposal manager. But the point is that there are opportunities, all different types of remote work opportunities. And I actually even have a friend who has a course that helps people learn what their current skills are that are transferable to remote work, and to be able to find those remote work positions that are suited for them, and then even to prepare themselves for remote work interviews. Because one of my duties as the proposal manager, I also helped out with the hiring. So when we did proposals for the government to say, yes, we can do this work, they usually required us to have some people already not 100% hired, but on what's called a contingent offer letter, which means they're saying, yes, if you win that contract, I'll come work to you. And they had to be fully qualified. So what I had to do was conduct their interviews via phone or via video. And so for my friend Camille's remote work course, I actually have a lesson in there where I share the lessons that I learned from the hiring manager side on what I'm looking for in a remote interview. So there's more information about that course as well on our blog.
And we were able, now you were talking so much, I lost my train.
That happens all the time.
Go ahead.
How about, you want to talk about Dave Ramsey?
No.
Okay, well, I do. One of the reasons why we decided to keep working was because Sean read a book.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Okay.
So there are lots of opportunities to work from the road. And there's, like the stuff Julie was just talking about, there's also websites that are ideal for finding remote work opportunities and freelance opportunities. The one that I use and still look at occasionally is flex jobs. That's a really good one. They have all different work areas, and it's a good one to just see what's out there and see what's available if you're considering wanting to travel and still be able to work full-time or part-time or freelance.
And a lot of people asked us why, getting back to the book, why we still wanted to work remotely when we are fortunate enough that we have our military pensions. And that was because originally we thought we'd retire from the military and then just travel and just live off of our pensions. But Sean read a book,
The Total Money Makeover,
by Dave Ramsey, and it's all about being debt-free. And up to that point, we both had full-time income, and we were living kind of the standard American way where you just finance things. You finance your house, you finance your RV, you finance your cars, and you get income and you make payments. And after we read The Total Money Makeover,
let's not.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was hooked on it. After we read the book, it took Julie a little while of me blasting the podcast every time we drove somewhere to get on board.
I was a little reluctant
with paying off our debt. So that's the reason why we kept on working.
Yes, because we wanted to be able to take our pensions and put that towards our debt, and then have our income to live the life that we wanted. And it's interesting because we were just talking to our oldest son about this today. He talks about FI, which I had not heard of, but it's financial independence. And he was telling me, that doesn't necessarily mean being wealthy. It can, but it means being able to live the life that you want to live. And the reason why I bring that up is because there's plenty of people who have decided not to work remotely and just to do what they call side gigs or side hustles, where they just make enough money to kind of sustain their travels as they go. And if that's what they want to do, then that's wonderful.
That's financial independence.
That's financial independence for them. For us, we're a little spoiled. So we really don't. Okay, I'm a little spoiled. All right. So I'm a little spoiled. I like my full hookups. I know we could boondock to save money. People tell us all the time, but I'm not very interested in that. I like to have places with swimming pools and hot tubs. I like to camp near cities because I'm more of a city person, and I like museums. So.
Mr. Andy says Dave Ramsey is the way to go. Absolutely.
Yeah.
At least, follow his principles.
Yeah.
I don't agree with everything, but we've followed his plan, and we're definitely better off for it.
Yeah, definitely. So with my financial independence is a different level for me. So we chose to continue working in that. And we make the decisions together. We tease each other. Obviously, we, want to do things that make each other happy, but we make the decisions together.
So now that we're pretty close.
Yeah, we're pretty close
to
being debt-free.
Let's step back. So about a year ago, almost a year ago, Julie decided to leave her job and start our business, Chickies Travels. And so she left and started writing, and we started YouTube. Mm-hmm. And since then we've written 2 books, and then I was still working full time because we still had debt to pay off. And so we were traveling, but I was spending a lot of time working.
Yeah. And let's just say that starting a business for that first year, it was a lot of work and not a lot of financial return, but it's a long game.
Wheeling with the Wendy's just came on, and they're preparing for full timing starting in October.
Awesome. Nice to have you. And it sounds like there'll be a Nomad Fest. Great.
So we're excited to meet everyone that comes there.
Yeah.
So Julie left, started the business, and I continued working. And then just recently, I've decided to leave my corporate jobs and mostly, and get to work on the business full time as well.
And I'm so happy because I need the help.
it's starting to grow, and it's hard for one person to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and we're in that position after 3 years of 3 years beyond what we wanted to be working. We made the sacrifice and kept working. So now we're in the position where I can leave, and the business is starting to generate income, and we have our pensions.
Yep.
And I'll just work part-time consulting in my area of health science for companies that may need me, just not full-time though, definitely not full-time, maybe 10 hours a week.
So we've expanded Chickies Travels to include speaking engagements at rallies and RV shows, and it looks like we're going to have 4 booked.
3.
Well, 3 RV shows and 1 rally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rally's still...
Well, we're still working on it, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we're in negotiations, shall we say, okay? So we're in the negotiation process, but it's looking favorable. So we're excited about that.
So hopefully this time next year we'll be making, and for people that want to start a business from scratch, it's not easy. It's hard to make money right away in stages, because
Yeah.
we knew it was going to take a year minimum before we started making any money at all. And
Yeah.
it's been about a year.
Yeah. Well, it was 6 months before we made our first little paycheck with the bundle. When we sold the book, we were involved in a holiday promotion with a group of other RV bloggers and people who have RV businesses beyond their blogs. And as a result of that, that was our first kind of little bump, and it really made us gave us that confidence that, yeah, this is going to start working. We're going to start, making an income from this. And actually, as a result of that, I have another business venture, because I was involved in it, like I said, with several other RV bloggers who also have taken their blogs and turned them into business. So we did a workshop at the RV Entrepreneur Summit, an attendee-led workshop last February, just a few months ago, and it was called Blogging for Business. And as a result of the success of that, and how many people have come to us and said, how did you do it? How did you take a hobby blog and then find streams of income from that? Because it's really, the blog was the starting point, but all of us have found different ways to make an income through our business. And so we have created something called Blogging Camp. We actually have a landing page, bloggingcamp.com, where we do a free webinar and share with people the pillars of how the 4 of us, we're all women, were able to take a blog and turn it into a business. And it's very interesting, because we're all doing different things to earn income. Like Sean and I in particular have written books. We have a YouTube channel, and then the speaking engagements especially are starting to be more of a revenue generating item. So
back to my point,
mm-hmm.
which was, if you're going to start, it's going to take time before you make money. So don't get discouraged and keep pressing forward.
Yep.
And spending all those hours, because they will eventually pay off if you're persistent in your goals, in achieving your goals, and starting that business. So, Diary of a Family. We wish you could. We also wish you could be at the RV Nomads premiere, but we'll meet you on the road at some point, I think.
Yeah. They actually said their house is hoping to go on the market by August, so
yeah.
That's pretty exciting. We actually, in terms of process, we actually had 2 rental homes that we kept for the first 2 years.
Yeah.
3 years. 2.5, 3 years. We didn't sell them exactly back to back. Mainly, it wasn't an income issue for the houses. It was we had never lived in an RV and we weren't sure.
Yeah.
We kind of wanted a backup plan.
Yeah.
But we did successfully sell our homes pretty quickly too, and that's a good feeling.
And then Denise, I can't say your last name, so I'm not even going to try. Awesome that you're moving to the U.S. and that you have plans to go full time. So thank you for those kind words, and we hope to meet you when you get here. We enjoy meeting everybody. So
yeah, we really do. We say it in every video, but we'll just re-emphasize that if you see that our paths are going to cross on our website, chickeriestravels.com, if you scroll down to the very bottom, we have a thing that says travel plans, and it usually shows where we were last, where we are now, and I try to put the next 2 places that we're going to be. And we love it when we cross paths with people. We've been meeting so many other RVers, both full-time and part-time, and it's been great.
Yeah. And so back to the work.
Yep.
I guess my main piece of advice is have a plan and then stick to your plan, because it's if you stick to the plan and only make minor adjustments, because everybody knows that a plan never fully survives, then you'll be fine. And don't let other people influence changing your plan. Stick to your plan. Don't just because,
but have a backup.
Just because other people are doing it one way doesn't mean that that's the way that works for you. So we've managed to work full time for a few years, and now we're starting to ease back on that.
Part-time, and now business.
But to be honest, the business takes up a lot more time than the 9-to-5 job.
When I quit my job last June to launch and work full-time on Chickies Travels, since then I have put in more hours on a consistent basis than I had to in my job, for sure.
Lance says their house went on the market last week.
Oh, fingers crossed for you.
Yeah, hoping
it sells soon.
Not only that it sells soon, that you make some money.
Yeah. That's always a good thing.
Yeah. So that's my piece of advice for it.
Yeah. And I would just say, like Sean was saying, not only don't get discouraged, but don't let anyone else tell you like how you have to live your life. Don't worry about judging how, even in like regular life, people might say, oh, RVing's kind of a crazy thing. We actually interviewed our family last week. They were all up here for a wedding. So we have 3 young adult sons, Sean's parents, my parents. We interviewed them all about what they thought about us going full-time RV, because we didn't ask them at the time. We just said, hey, here's what we're doing. And it was interesting to hear their stories. We've come to find out now 4 years later that they're all happy about us now, but they were a little, concerned maybe, or just not sure about it, surprised when we first started. But it's our life, right? So that, and it worked out.
A nice comment from Life is a Journey. They're planning to go full-time in a couple months, and looks like one of them just became disabled and not sure how hard it will be since she doesn't or he doesn't drive. Oh, I guess it's she maybe, or he. Yeah, he could be a he.
Yeah.
My husband will be carrying the load, and it's totally possible because I do all the driving.
Sean does all the driving. I've towed, so we have a fifth wheel, so towing the 44-foot fifth wheel with our big dually truck. I've done it once. We actually have a video from last summer. She towed the RV for the first time, I think it's called, if you want to go back and look to hear about that crazy story. It's a tale in and of itself. But I did successfully tow it one time when he was away on a business trip. But besides that, so I know how to do it. And I always help him with like hooking and unhooking, but he does it. And, so yeah.
And we've seen lots of people on the road. We've ran into lots of people with different health issues and disabilities. So don't let that scare you. Anything's possible if you put your mind to it.
Get an RV that you're comfortable with. You know, if you go on a Facebook forum and say, what kind of RV should I get? Class A, Class C, fifth wheel, travel, you're going to get a different answer because people are defending their own choices. But we say, pick what's best for you. Try a bunch of them. We went to a bunch of shows. We went to a bunch of dealerships. You can even rent them. So, check out a bunch of them and pick what's best for you, because what's best for us might not be what's best for you.
Yeah, and everybody's different. So the same goes for working. You pick the job that's right for you, that you're able to do from the road. Not everybody enjoys doing the same thing. So,
Yep.
try
And,
different things.
Yeah, and some people want to maintain an employer so that they have benefits. Some people want to work for themselves. And I think we've demonstrated here now in the last 20 minutes that you can do either one, because we have now.
Yeah. And it's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
So, did you already read that? Life is a Journey? Okay, sorry.
She said thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. So good luck to you. So if you have any questions about working remotely, post them in the comments here. Go to our website, post them in the comments there, or there's a contact us on the page. You can send us a private email. We answer every single email that we get. We're more than happy to share with you our story and also to refer you to other resources. Like I said, in our blog post on chickiestravels.com, our blog post about how we earn an income, there's a couple resources there, remote work school, and also blogging camp.
We haven't ever tried work camping.
We did think about it. Remember, we applied for one?
Yeah.
And we actually got applied and accepted for a volunteer national park, but Sean was still working full time. And so it would just be me. And then when it came to find out, I mean, this was while we were still in the negotiations, but they offered us the position. But when we got more details about it, we found that there wasn't going to be a reliable internet.
Yeah.
And it was also really far from the airport. Yeah. And that was going to be a problem with his job. So we ended up not doing that. But
we've had nothing. Yeah. We don't have anything against it. And we know people that do it. And it's a great way to see areas. And you get to meet a bunch of people too.
And there's different ways that you can do it. Like we were looking at doing a national park, which is basically you're a volunteer, is what it's called. So you're a volunteer and you're getting your site. And we were doing it for those couple reasons. I mean, it's nice to get the site for free, but two, the volunteerism, having been in the military, that's a thing they instill in us from the very beginning, is giving back to the community that you're in, and that's just something that I've always liked to do. And then we love national parks also, and you get to learn about them while you're there too, like helping do tours and things like that. But there's also work camping, where it's basically a full-time job, like working in a campground office for a private campground, where you'll get paid. You'll get the site, and then above the value of the site, you'll get paid for additional hours. So that's an option.
Yeah. There's lots of different opportunities, and I say go for it if you see one that you're interested in. Lance asked if we were nervous about starting our channel. Not nervous, but I would say we were hesitant because the internet can be a hateful place, and thanks to people like Frank at AOL.com.
Pot Dragon.
Or Pot Dragon.
We're naming a couple of our famous critics.
I think that was the hardest part, was just overcoming the I guess it's a fear, but also the fact that
we're not perfect.
We're not perfect, and not everybody's going to like us, and people are going to criticize us, and we're going to get hate mail, and it's true, we get it.
Yeah, and as long as you don't take it personally.
And if you can get past that, it's a lot of fun, and it's you get used to. Yeah. I mean, we watch our first videos. Even we've only been doing it a year, and we watch our first videos, and we say, "Wow, we really sucked."
Yeah.
But you just get more comfortable over time, and
we got away from comparing ourselves to others, because obviously there's people who might be more attractive or funnier or, just a lot of different things. And you just can't compare yourself to them. The thing is, we have a story to tell, and we love sharing our lessons learned. And we're more than happy to share the mistakes we've made along the way.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of our thing, is just like being real about it. We're trying to be realistic, not reality TV that's been scripted.
Yeah. Hi, Six in the Mix. Also, you have to be pretty open, I think, to have, videos, and also a blog. So like, even on our blog, every month we publish our road to financial freedom, I guess, mm-hmm. where we are in our plans, to be debt free, and, where we are financially. So we're completely open. And I think that helps us make videos and write blogs.
Yeah, and it's their channel. So, I mean, as you go through these comments, check out some of the other people that are on here, because they're probably, you know, fellow friends. Diary of a Fan.
Or
You meet YouTubers because of the military. And so it's been more good than bad.
Yeah.
Very, very, very little bad.
Yeah. It's definitely helped us connect more with people.
I think 7 p.m. Eastern's a good time, don't you?
Yeah.
And tell us if that's not a good time. But I think 7 p.m. was a little better than 6 because of the, you know, some people out west. So next Tuesday, 7 p.m. We haven't picked.
Till we see you on the road. Safe travels.